Hey everybody. I'm hoping my microphone is working. This is the second time I ever did a live broadcast, so um, hopefully this goes well. So, as most, if not everybody, knows, I was an anthro major in college and like studying people and cultures and stuff. But I've really been into lucid dreaming for a number of years. So I have decided, because I'm inspired by several of my friends, um, especially Aubrey Hart and Kira Hefner. You guys are amazing and have been teachers in this area for me for several months. Kira for a few years, actually. So I wanted to thank you for that. So I'm going to start studying more of that. So the cliche new agey book is The Secret. So I finally read it. So I wanted to, oh, I should say, my goal is to make live broadcasts about information I'm finding on esoteric topics or symbology, sociology, anthropology, that kind of stuff. Just let people know what I'm up to, and if it interests you, you can study it. And on the flip side, if you don't have time to read a book yourself, hopefully my personal subjective synopsis will be helpful. So I read The Secret. I watched the documentary a few years ago. To be perfectly honest, I find it very simplistic and money-centered. It kind of says, my sleeve is weird, that everything in your life you attracted, and so even things that are bad that you had no intention of attracting, it's still your fault. I feel like babies who die from health complications or when terrible things happen to very young children, I really have a hard time believing that they attracted that. I think it's a little simplistic to say everything is because you thought it and wanted it in some way. I don't really think that that's 100% true 100% of the time. My other problem with the book, again, it does touch on, health and relationships, but it's mainly about money and how to attract money, and those who are rich know the secret, and that's why, because they attracted money that just, I mean, it's true that wealth is created in this economy, but it kind of just says that, everybody who's rich knows this secret, and everybody who doesn't, that's why they're poor, or at least that's part of it, and they're attracting bad financial issues because they worry about it, which, yeah, okay, law of attraction, I can see that. If you think I'm in debt, you're going to stay in debt. I get that. But it does also kind of say that if you know the secret and you're focusing on abundance and wealth and you don't get it, that it's just because you didn't try hard enough. And I feel like that's kind of blaming people. It's definitely about language you use, how you frame things, what your emotional state is. Do you set yourself up to fail? Do you take small risks so that you trust yourself when you finally decide to take a leap? But it seems very blamey and very money-centered. I'm not saying, it's causality versus randomness. I kind of believe in both. I don't know. Just my personal opinion is that because we are who we are, whether you want to say on a molecular level, spiritual level, whatever, we will, through free will, choose in certain patterns based on, nature and nurture and just this complex, epigenetics, all of the complete system will tend toward making certain types of decisions in certain situations. So I think we have the free will to choose what we are most likely to choose. So I think you can kind of calculate it, and we have free will. But anyway, so I'm not saying that wealth is random, and I'm not saying that the law of attraction doesn't exist. It totally does. Your mindset and what you say to yourself does determine your reality, even on an emotional, chemical level. However, this book is very blamey. It kind of just says, here's the stark reality. If you know the secret and you know how to use it, you'll be rich. And if you don't, you won't be. And that's your fault if you're not. And I find that problematic, simplistic, and rather reductionist. So that's my book review of The Secret. Also, the documentary is an hour and a half. Honestly, they could cover everything in that documentary in 30 minutes. It's extremely repetitive. And the book kind of is. I do like, though, I'll find a page. It does have little bullet point notes for the chapter, where it'll say, oh no, the lighting is weird, where it'll say secret summaries at the top there. It has little bullet points of the chapters, which is really nice. So, if you're interested in reading this book, you can have it. First person to contact me can have it. That's not necessarily, as you can see, I love my books. There's actually an entire other shelf of books. Thank you to Mom for teaching me to have that decor taste. But I took notes on the book, which was extremely easy. It's very easy to read. I read it in, 2 days. Few hours, like 4 or 5 hours. So if you'd like the book, you can have it. I find it too simplistic and blamey and money-centered, but whatever. And then, as a preview, my next 2 projects, although I do have 2 books from 2 friends that I'm in the process of reading, my 2 more education/work-related books are going to be a primer of Jungian psychology. It's mostly just a biography of him. I've read most of the first chapter. It's just kind of his life story, but I think it's going to be very useful, and I can probably read it in a few hours. So that'll be a cool background. And the other thing I just got from Amazon, although I should not spend more money on books, Celtic Tarot. So this is going to be a new thing that I'm going to study for fun, how to do tarot, specifically Celtic Tarot. So this book has information on the Celts and tarot, and then them in combination, and then each of the cards. It's got a little guide. Oh, see, I tried too hard with the lighting. I'm not a photographer. So that's what I'm going to start reading. I have a lot of books on deck, but those are my main 2. The tarot one is going to take several weeks for me to learn, so I'm going to go slowly there. And the other one, the Jungian psychology book, is probably going to take 4 hours. And shout out to Aubrey and Enrique who lent me books, and I'm going to read those too. So anyway, that's all I have right now. When it gets warmer, I'm going to start doing this outside. And when I'm busier, I might not do these as often, but I want to start video broadcast book reviews because I do not want to write any more essays on books. I've had it. So, thanks. Have a good afternoon.